We are in Traverse City, Michigan. We're just on a little getaway, but we wanted to take some time to talk to you guys about purpose. Frequently we mention vision. It's vision this, vision that. We haven't really done a good job of talking about purpose. Purpose precedes vision. Purpose comes first, right?
Purpose is before a vision can take place.
Yes. What your vision is how you accomplish your purpose, right?
So you can't have a vision if you don't have a purpose.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because your vision is how you get there, but if you don't know what your purpose is, you don't know where you're going.
Yes, that's very, very well put. So we want to talk about purpose. Keep wanting to say vision. We want to talk about purpose, and we just want to give you just really shotgun out some keys to discovering your purpose. Again, you have to know what your purpose is, what you're here to do. You know, why were you created? Everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a calling, if you will.
Yep.
You have to discover that before you can get your vision and start pursuing that. So, real quick, and we're just going to kind of share what was part of our journey. So I think a good place to start is take some time and do a personal inventory. And what I mean by personal inventory is kind of take an inward look, if you will, and ask yourself a few questions on this road to discovery. And I'll just relay them here. What do you like to do? Take a look at your hobbies, some activities that you're involved with, things that you do on a pretty regular basis. Those kinds of things. What are you passionate about? This is usually linked to hobbies, affiliations, that usually has something to do with your passion. So pay attention to those things. Write some things down. Another thing for me, what makes you angry? And this really got my attention because sometimes you'll be in places and just certain situations really set you off. They just, I don't know, they get into you. There was a situation at the school that our kids go to, and I just kept going on and on about it, and Miranda was kind of like, well, why don't you do something about it? I'm thinking, maybe I should do something about it. I'm pretty passionate about it, apparently. So I managed to get my way onto the school board, so as luck would have it. So now I get to do something about some of those concerns, those issues that I'm passionate about. Instead of just being passive, you can be proactive. And another good question is, what do you want to express to the world, right? When people think of you, what do you want them to think? What's your legacy, right? Is that making sense? Kind of, how do I phrase it? If you are given to a particular thing, people say, well, oh, I know so-and-so, they're into this, or they're into that, or they're all about this. You want to discover what that is for you, what that question is for you. So that's what I mean by personal inventory. Just some of those types of questions, and that'll kind of help you flesh out part of your purpose, right? So you want to start writing all these things down. Because these are like little puzzle pieces to a bigger picture. And go ahead.
Yeah, when we talk about personal inventory, the key to life is to really know who you are, who you're designed to be, what you're passionate about, how your body operates, but to really know you. I can only know my husband even to a certain point. He has to know himself at a deeper level. And sometimes in life we get distracted looking at everything else around us because we're always looking out, that we don't take time to reflect. Even just your emotions, your thoughts, what bothers you and what excites you and what are you always turning to, if you're on reading articles or blogs online, what are you looking up, just little things like that. Really take a time to look at yourself, and that will help you discover what you're here to do, discover what your purpose is. Why did God put you on this earth? Because He never put something here without it having a purpose. Even in creation, every animal, every tree, everything He did had a purpose to it. Say, how much more is that purpose for us? We have a purpose just like that. And so it's very important that you reflect and really learn, and that's where your full fulfillment in life will come from. It won't come from anything out in the world, but it's going to come from your purpose. So really take time to reflect of who you are.
Yeah. Another set of questions that you want to be aware of. Gifts and talents. So what are you good at? What are some things that just come naturally for you? Other people look at you and they say, wow, how do you even do that? And you say, like, oh, it's easy. How do you not do that? Those kinds of gifts and talents, those are another clue, another puzzle piece, if you will, to your purpose. Things that come naturally to you. If you're in religious circles, you've probably heard of the spiritual gift test, right? Those can be good. I've taken several, and I will put this caution in there. One problem I have with spiritual gift tests is a lot of times they want to rope you into, or pigeonhole you into, I should say, the religious structure, right? So if you have a gifting to teach, well, obviously you're called to be a pastor, right? Because what else could you do with a teaching gift, apparently? So watch out for that, but don't disregard the spiritual gift tests. They can be very informative. I wouldn't take just one. It's like a personality test, right? Some of them can be kind of biased, so take several. I don't know. Just look at it as just another point of information that will help you discover your purpose. But don't let that be the only source. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Life's motivations. So this is really key. You want to discover what your core beliefs are. You've heard the term worldview. Everybody has a worldview. We should have a biblical worldview, but some people don't. You may not. I don't know. It could be in a state of development. But you want to discover what your worldview is. And by that, it's what principles and ideals are guiding your life right now. A lot of times this just kind of gets intrinsically formed in us throughout our lives. And we have these opinions and these beliefs about things and how we think the world should operate. And, you know, right, wrong, or otherwise, we need to be aware of this stuff, because this guides, goes to our motivation. It guides how we live life. And it's tied to your purpose. You know, if you have a negative worldview, that's going to affect how you live, and you know, it's going to play a role in what you believe your purpose to be. So you really have to have a good understanding of this. You want to know what some of those worldviews, what those internal motivations are. So another resource is Miles Monroe. He has what he calls 5 questions that every human being must answer. And I'll just share these with you really quickly. Question number 1, who am I? So this question deals with your identity, right? You need to know who you are. You need to know where you came from, I don't know what's the words I'm looking for. Your roots, if you will, right? And we're not just talking about, you know, I came from Kansas in a small farm somewhere. You need to know your spiritual heritage. You need to know your kingdom heritage. You know, where did you come from? Okay? Question number 2, where am I from? Not as it relates to ethnicity, but where are you from in regards to creation? And this is a deeper question. You know, we come from our parents, they came from their parents who emigrated or came from wherever, so on and so forth, right? Your family tree. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about your creator. Where did you come from? And what does answering that question bring to the table? Question number 3, why am I here? Why do you exist? This goes right back to purpose. There is a reason you exist. Some people say, well, I was unplanned, or I was an accident, or I should have never been here. That's not true. God created you for a reason. The circumstances of how you got here are irrelevant to that fact. right? Not all of us have ideal circumstances how we entered this world, but we're here and we have a purpose. There's something for us to do. So why am I here? What did you come to earth to do? And then what can I do, right? What is my true ability? Me, I can't play NFL football. I'm not built for that. I don't have that skill set. I don't even have that desire. But I have a skill set that allows me to do other things. What's your skill set? You know, what are you given to? Maybe it's sports, maybe it's something in media, maybe it's something in business. Who knows? Our artistic endeavors, you know, teaching. I mean, the list is endless. But you have to find out what can you do. A lot of us have an innate ability, certain just innate gifts that we have, and then, you know, we have the capacity to learn different things. You know, maybe you're into engineering and you have the capacity to understand those kinds of topics. So you can go to school and this stuff is just interesting and engaging, and where for somebody else, it's just like they'll put them to sleep. You know, they're just not about it. And then question number 5, where am I going? So this is talking about your destiny. And you have to know not only what you're here to do, but what does that mean for your life? And that will lead you into your destiny.
Where am I going ties to your vision. You know, the first question prior was, what is it? What can I do?
What can I do?
It's tied to your purpose, you know, why you're here. A lot of these are all tied to your purpose, but where am I going is going to be the vision part of that. But you can't get to number 5 till you begin to work through number 1 and 2. And everything we're laying out for you it's a process, it's a journey. And it's a journey of yourself. You know, you have so much time on earth that God has given you. Use it to the best of your ability. Don't try to rush or push things. Try things out. See if you like it. See if you enjoy it. And it's okay to try something and change it up. It's okay to switch. It doesn't matter if people think, wow, they're flopping around. You know what? You're doing something. And that's all that matters. And whether some things are temporary and some things are seasonal, God wants to teach you certain things through a certain season only for a certain amount of time. And that's okay. And it's only for you to figure that out. It's not for me to try to figure out for you or to even judge you in that. It's your personal discovery of who you are. And some people will think they know your destiny better than you do, and that's wrong. Only you will truly know what you're here to do. And other people might have questions, they might criticize, they might try to judge it. That doesn't matter. What matters is that one day you'll stand before God on what He gave you to do, and you can't say, well, so-and-so didn't think this, or they said I had to do this. You know what? No. He gave it for you to do. You have the Holy Spirit that will lead you, that will guide you, that will teach you and direct you, not somebody else for you. You know, as parents, we can help our children, train them up to learn to listen to the Holy Spirit. So we only get our children for so long, and then they're on their own. And it's important we teach them how to listen to the Holy Spirit because they have to make choices for themselves. Same thing with you. We're on our own personal journey, and we've tried different things, and we've readjusted things as things get clearer, and we're doing different things, but we can look back and see how each thing we've tried is been preparing us for where we're at now. Yes. Not everything was permanent.
It's like a building block.
It's building a house, you know, one step at a time, one thing at a time, and it takes time before you get the big picture. Some of you know we're in the middle of building a house. First we had the foundation, it was hard to see the walls. Now we kind of got the walls, we're seeing the shape of the house. And it's getting clearer and clearer. The more that we're getting to our finish date, the clearer the house is becoming to us. Before, we only had a kind of an idea of a picture in our head, and now we can actually really see it. And it's just like that with life. You got to go one step at a time.
And it brings up a good point about trying things. We're not talking about living an experimental life. You wanna try to narrow down what your purpose is, and that's why you go through these exercises, asking yourself these questions to try to get that a little bit narrower scope. And then along that path, then you can explore some different things as you're going down that path. It's not about trying things over here with no sense of direction or anything like that. You want to have kind of a rough working idea of, I think this is my purpose, let me explore this avenue. And as you explore that, the Lord will maybe make some small adjustments here or there, but you're moving in the same general direction, if that makes sense. And
counsel is always a good thing. You know, you can always ask if you've got family members or loved ones. sometimes they'll see what you're passionate about before you even see it. They see your gifts and your talents. So sometimes if you ask people who are close to you, your family, friends, maybe they've known you your whole life, hey, what do you see I'm drawn to? Do you see an avenue? Oh yeah, you're great at this, you know. Sometimes other people will see it before we even see it in
Yeah,
ourselves.
that's true.
So look to others around you too. Ask questions, you know, about yourself. There's nothing wrong with looking into that.
And just one last thing that I'll leave you with. We have Miles Monroe's 5 questions. That's a great place to start. Again, doing a personal inventory, your gifts and talents, maybe some spiritual gifting tests. Those could be beneficial. Discovering your life's motivations. And then you want to summarize all these things by kind of writing out a purpose statement. And I'm not going to get into that too much. There's lots of resources about how to write a personal mission statement or purpose statement or whatever you want to call it. People a lot smarter than me can tell you how to do that, probably a lot better than I could. But these things, these are tools, keys if you will, that will help get you on more of a narrow focus. So you're not wandering through life, just wondering, what am I here to do, you know?
Yeah.
And once you discover your purpose, then you can say, okay, now that I've discovered my purpose, how do I achieve my purpose? And that's where vision comes in. Vision is, what am I going to do to get me there? That's vision. I'm sure we'll talk about that down the road. Another tool and that I want to leave you guys with is some people that ministry we're affiliated with, and in full disclosure, it's Kingdom Community International, and they have what's called a School of Influence that covers quite a bit of this stuff that we're talking about. And that's an excellent resource. It is not free. If it's worth doing, it's worth paying for. But the cost is very reasonable. That's an avenue. I'm not saying it's the only avenue, but it is an avenue, and that's one that we have done, and we've really enjoyed it. It's really helped us quite a bit. And I'll put the link to the website in the description for this video, as well as maybe some of Miles Monroe's materials. But those are just some avenues that we would encourage people to explore, because once you discover your purpose, once you know what you're here to do, then you can get down to the nuts and bolts of vision, and things get exciting, guys. We were just talking the other day, our life has changed drastically in just what?
1 year?
1 year. What were we saying last night? We went from our 5 acres, our house on 5 acres, sold it, built a house. What else did
Building a house.
Building a house, yeah. Starting, 2 businesses?
Yeah.
Kind of 3, but probably it's a lot. But it's just in 12 months, guys. 12 months.
Our life has taken a whole spin.
Yeah.
God has really just really reshifted. I mean, we see how everything in the past was to prepare us for this moment, but everything is really beginning to take off as we've discovered these things. Never neglect the process. Everything you go through in life is always to prepare you. Even the hard things.
Yeah.
There's some hard things that I went through even as a child that it is who I am today. And because of those things are my passions to this day. You know, I lost my mom at a very young age and watched her battle health conditions to this day. I'm passionate about health and nutrition because I saw what she had to go through. My mom was in bed constantly in pain. I don't want that for myself. I don't want that for other mothers, for their children. I don't want people to live like that. Life is so much more than that. But see, so going through that helped me become who I am today. So that was a process, but then you take the process and you use it to create your purpose and your vision, and it really moments you into your destiny and your future, so you can bring a change and a transformation to where you are planted, where you are at. And another thing to look at too is, what are your dreams? Do you have ideas? What are your ideas? God will speak to you through, it's not always the words that he says, but it'll be the ideas that he gives you. You might have an idea of, oh, this would be neat to have this, or this area really needs this, this is lacking. Those are all ideas that God will give you in time. So tuck those away, note them down, and maybe you'll see a common thread through them. Don't ignore those, because that is a way that God will speak to you, is through ideas.
Yeah, I like what you had to say about the common thread. That's really what you're looking for with all this stuff that we've kind of just thrown out at you. you want to find the common thread between all these different areas, these questions that you're asking yourself, because the common thread is your purpose, right? That's what you're looking for. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's tied into your purpose.
Yeah.
A lot of times your common thread can be the very thing that propels you into the big picture.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a little overcast today, but the sun is kind of coming out, so we're gonna go and
Did you say where we were at?
yeah,
Yeah,
gonna
we're
go
here in Traverse City.
in Traverse City. We're gonna go enjoy the sights and just have some time to connect. And
And you know, this trip for us, this trip has really been a lot about dreaming. We've been strategizing. We don't
Yeah,
just take the
that's true.
trips just to leave. We actually have taken it to really let go, leave everything, our busy household, and come here. And we're putting down ideas. We're getting a strategy. We're putting our plans together on paper, and that way we can go back and implement them. So it's really important, especially as husband and wives, that you
Yeah.
get together, you connect, talk about what you want, talk about your dreams, talk about your visions. Do it together. There's power in that unity, and that's really what we're here for. It's not just a vacation, not just to have fun, but it's really, we've connected and we've come up with so many ideas, even just being here, that we're just jotting down and strategizing.
yeah, we're always looking to tweak the vision that God has given us. Just be open to His adjustments. So yeah. But we'll see you guys in the next video, and until then, be strong.
Love y'all.